what kind of pattern do you see in the laws of America in regards to God and religion?
Well, the pattern I've seen is just that they've tried to eliminate God and religion out of everything. And we can go back to this summer where the Supreme Court made a controversial ruling on the DOMA case. And people, Christians more to say, were in an uproar because now that same-sex couples can get the same benefits as a man and a wife. We're you know that's just the worst thing, and I completely agree with that. That is, that's, I can't even fathom that really, but it yeah, Congress so far, recently has tried to make laws that completely separate, that's what this country was founded on, though. This country was founded on keeping, Jefferson and Madison, they were strict about keeping government out of religion. And so, just going along with those principles, I would want to, I don't want to see God, personally, I don't want to see him taken out of America, but as a country was founded, it was founded on Christian principles, but it shouldn't be so much as, intermeddling with, government affairs.
And like you said, about the founding of our country, what does the Constitution and Bill of Rights say about God and religion in America?
Well, the well, first we have our Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. Well, the First Amendment includes the Establishment Clause, Religion Clause, Freedom of Religion Clause, the Free Speech Clause. And the Establishment Clause said that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. So, that's, again, that just and Madison and the other Federalists, they were adamant about having those amendments in there, so so government couldn't have so much intrusion on the citizens' lives. So again, they were adamant about not Congress not having a religion, set religion, whether it was Christianity. Even though our country was founded on Christian principles, they didn't want government to say, okay, we're gonna mandate a national religion like there was in England. So, and then we have along with the Establishment Clause, we have the free exercise of religion, which comes right after the Establishment Clause, and that says that nor will Congress prohibit the free exercise of religion. So again, that goes back to saying that a police officer can't come in my house and persecute me for reading my Bible or praying or doing. And but that goes to the other side. They can't go into a Muslim's house and forbid him from reading the Quran or engaging in his other rights as a citizen. So those two main clauses in the First Amendment are really fundamental on religion and God.
And you talked about the founding of Christian principles and the First Amendment. If these principles are taken out of history books and public schools, what do you see happening to our country in the future?
Well, I see our country going to the pits, and it's sad to say, but when we're taking God out of history books or our school books, those morals, those just the inherent rights are just being completely forgotten. And so that's what leads our country into sin and saying things like okay, a woman deserves a right to abortion, or or two homosexuals have the right to engage in sexual acts, or just a multitude of things. And again, we take God from the fundamentals, from the elementary school. Well, taking away God that early, what other morals are you going to be brought up on? Maybe some morals that that your atheist or non-believing teacher may want to teach you. So it's I see it as the worst thing possible.
What are some specific court cases that have taken God out of America?
We actually our Liberty Council here, they're big advocates for rights and liberty and Christian rights, and they they actually argued in a case on behalf of the Supreme Court. I believe the case took place in Kentucky, and it basically, I think it was called McCreary versus ACLU or something. And that case was, they had a person that he went to a courthouse in Kentucky, and of course most courthouses had the Ten Commandments somewhere, whether it's on somewhere near the courthouse steps or a picture of the Ten Commandments in the courthouse somewhere. Well, this guy argued that the Ten Commandments posted in the courthouse was a violation of the Establishment Clause, and so that case went to the Supreme Court, and they eventually the Supreme Court ruled that, you can't have the Ten Commandments in this courthouse. So, it seemed like such a small thing, but, that's, it keeps adding on, and then we have the Everson case, the 1947 case in New Jersey, and that case was a small case, but it was a tax that the Board of Education levied on one taxpayer to reimburse taxpayers for getting their kid for bus transportation, getting them to school. Well, one taxpayer said that was a violation of due process, saying that you can't tax me and then give it to somebody else for whatever purpose. And then it was also a violation of the Establishment Clause, because that money was going to parents that were sending their kids to Catholic schools. And so that case came down, and Justice Black said that, since the state wasn't giving the money directly to the Catholic schools, they weren't supporting the schools, they were just only giving the money to the parents, that couldn't have been seen as a violation of the Establishment Clause. And that case also was the landmark case that brought that incorporated the Establishment Clause to the states. And incorporation is just, we have our 10 amendments, and they were applicable to the federal government, but incorporation takes those 10 amendments and applies them to the states as well. So again, that case was big, and just applying the incorporation clause, or I'm sorry, the Establishment Clause to the states. So no state now can establish a religion. No state can prohibit the free exercise of religion. No state can, give money to, whether it's a Christian church or a Catholic church or a, Muslim, Jewish, whatever. They can't do that. And so that case was, big in making the Establishment Clause, between the states and the federal government. Sorry.
And then what can be done to preserve God in America?
What can be done to preserve God in America is just, we have to, first of all, we have to have leaders. Normally they say we're built on a good foundation. Well, in this case, we have, under Romans 13, we're supposed to submit to our authority, submit to our government. Well, if our government, isn't made up of, strong Christian leaders, whether, it doesn't matter if they're, ministering and just out there with it, but if we don't have guys with strong leaders with strong Christian morals, then that kind of trickles down into everything, because we have guys in DC or wherever in our state capitals that are making laws that are completely out of touch, out of relation to Christian principles, and then we have a Supreme Court that is upholding these laws, so that kind of is a trickle effect through everything we do. So I think the biggest thing we need to do to preserve God in America is just to have strong Christian leaders, strong leaders in general.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome, man.